angle, guys. Thank you for tuning in. Please give me a like, share, a comment, and subscribe. This is your third and final fire sign for the month of July 2020. This is for Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, or Rising, or people with heavily placed planets in Sag. For those of you that are watching, you can. For those of you that are Sagittarians, please feel free to watch. For those of you that feel something towards a Sagittarian, I pray for you, and and you're more than welcome to cross watch. I don't care. I do it. I've been known to too, but good luck. Let's see what's going on for Sag. I decided to do something different. The last 6 months has been pure shite, really. Let's just be honest. So I decided to add some extra cards to the monthly. One is the power or the animal spirit deck, and I did this because I wanted to give us a sort of guardian or a guide for the month. So this is an animal spirit that will hopefully either remind us of latent potential within us that exists already within us, or teach us about potential that we need to learn about so that we can grow that potential within us. Okay, so this is something that we want to reflect upon, or that should help us to work our way through. This animal should be like our guide through the month of July. I keep wanting to say January. I wish we could go back to January and start over. Can we get God, remember when all of Australia was on fire? It's just, whatever. Okay. So let's see what's going on for my archers. Let's see. Oh, get it? Okay. Archer, you've got the unicorn, which is pretty much a magical horse animal, which is right up your alley. That's kind of like your kink, basically. Hey, Jessica Farley. By the way, I saw that you asked about Cancer. Cancer is on the YouTube channel over 3 videos because my internet connection kept dropping. So hopefully I can get through this video without it dropping. So let me get into this. So for your guys' guardian animal, it's interesting. You guys have unicorn, which is an element of spirit, which is great. I love that for my Sagittarians, because you guys are the half man, half horse. So this being unicorn, it's very tied into that. Sagittarians are also the element of fire, which is the element of spirit. This being an animal of spirit, to me, you couldn't do better unless you landed an animal in the fire realm, right? But spirit is just as good. I do want to say this, is unicorn the most practical spirit animal? I don't know. Does he have some magic and some intuition to him? Certainly. Is he going to be a good guide for you in the month of July? We're going to have to look at the cards to see about that. I kind of get this feeling that there's a little bit of a, I don't know, I love unicorns, don't get me wrong. I'm gay as the next person. Give me a unicorn all day. But I feel like unicorn, is he the most practical animal to have when the world is falling apart? But for a sign that's half man, half horse, maybe it is, I think that unicorns are magic, and they do have the ability to sort of connect us to spirit, to our own intuition. And so I think that with unicorn, anything is possible. I think that I'm a jaded bitch, and I don't necessarily feel that right now as I'm looking at this, but that's also because I'm, where I'm at in my life, so I'm just gonna leave it at that. But I do think that unicorn is a very special animal, and how would I indicate Sag to use this animal? I believe that unicorn is about possibility. I believe that unicorn is connecting to Sag through the spirit to remind him, or them, I shouldn't say him, sorry, to remind them about what is possible, right? Through the intuition. That's this moon behind the unicorn. I feel like his horn is sort of telepathically communicating to my Sages what they need to do, how they need to be, how they better need to connect to their spirit, and hopefully they're listening. Hopefully they will be able to listen to unicorn. I feel like unicorn to me would be a lighter energy than say the fiery base Sag, but he's there for you if you need him. He may not be practical enough for Sag, right? This unicorn, but he's there. And he's sort of, I feel like this unicorn energy or this animal as a spirit guide through the month of July requires Sag to go a little bit deeper and a little bit more intuitively to access the information that this unicorn may be able to bring. But I feel like this unicorn can bring about magic, like show doorways or pathways that were otherwise unseen or unknown to Sagittarians, right? The unicorn is like, come on, let's go this way through the magical forest. That's kind of what I'm feeling or hearing as I'm looking at this card. I feel like he's got other avenues that Sag doesn't see, if that makes any sense at all. So my thing is will my Sagittarians A, access him, and B, will they trust what he's saying? That's the other thing, because I feel like unicorn to me feels sort of otherworldly. And Sages are otherworldly in their half man, half horseness, so that's why they have this natural affinity for this unicorn, right? And does that make sense? But in a world that is sort of on its ear right now, are they going to be willing to set aside the more practical things to listen to the magic of unicorn? If they do, ooh, that was a big firework. Hello to that sort of universal, yes, how are you? If they do listen to unicorn, I think that true magic will happen for them. Let's just say that. Hey Donna, how are you? Good morning. Alright, so let's see what's in the cards. Now this first card is the center card. This tells me a little bit about sort of where Sagittarian is centered at in the month of July, and what it's going to be working on or kind of vibrating at, and what it could potentially be creating for the future. So let's see. Sorry, my dogs are snoring. So this is the Four of Pentacles. So we saw this just recently in, I want to say, what was it, Leo's reading. There was one of the outside influences. To me, this is about prudence. To me, this is an earth energy. I mean, not to me, it is an earth energy. It's the Four of Pentacles. This is all about stability and balance. And this is what I was talking about this sort of idea of the unicorn being sort of impractical for Sag. This is that energy where I feel like my Sages might be channeling this kind of, fours always represent like four legs on a table, represent this idea of stability. So and him holding these scales here, right, looks like he's looking for balance too, right? So when I'm looking at this as the center, it's like Sag's focus in the month of July might be on the money, might be on stability, might be on balance, about getting things sort of back to normal or stable. And this, no pun intended, right? Sagittarian, and then we've got unicorn, and horses live in a stable. But unicorn might be a little bit impractical, but I feel like there's so much magic in unicorn. If you don't, it would be a waste. I'm just going to say that to my Sages. It might be a waste, because this to me feels a little bit limited as a center card. It's not bad, it's just frugal, prudent. It has that sort of an energy to it, where it doesn't feel like Sag is living in that expansive sort of place that they like to. Sag is ruled by the planet of Jupiter. And so to me, that's more about expansion and feeling big and luxurious and all of that sort of stuff. And to me, this four feels a little bit limited, tight, having a need for stability and balance. There's nothing wrong with that, but that is your focus with unicorn. All right, guys. Hey, wake up, please, because I can't have a cacophony of snoring while I'm live. So, you guys have a full, like, 2 other bedrooms you can go sleep in. So, with the magic of unicorn sitting here waiting to assist you in the month of July, and y'all are operating at the Four of Pentacles, it's like, really, bitch? Like, really? Unicorn's here to show you the way. That's all I'm saying. Alright, so let me go to the, I wish I had unicorn in Pisces reading, I could tell you that. What did Pisces have? Pisces had cheetah running away. Alright, so, This is the Foundation card. This just sort of tells me a little bit about what was going on in the past that sort of led us up to this point. It's also the memory of this card that everything is built upon, so it keeps everything held in place. Okay, so this makes sense. This is the Ten of Pentacles. So this was back when a time when things were much more good financially, much more stable, much more grounded. Everybody was feeling good, feeling abundance. It felt like in control. Things were good. Sag feels to me with this Four of Pentacles, it's about trying to get back there. We may not be able to get back there by the year's end. That's the thing. And I think that Unicorn is trying to show Sag magical ways of getting to other results that Sag doesn't even see, because Sag is so focused on the past and what he once had, or once, what, you know, hold on 1 second, I gotta move the dog. She's just, snoring is driving me nuts. Go into the bedroom. Go on. Go on. Go into the bedroom. Go into the bedroom. Good girl. So, to me, it's like about building that back up, or the focus is, the memory is what I had versus what I have now. And I think that there's some sort of miscommunication happening with Sag in looking at, because the Four of Pentacles is not necessarily a bad card, right? It's like just having just enough, like your needs are met, ideally, or you can meet your needs. Maybe not to the degree that you're used to, because this Ten of Pentacles speaks to this idea that maybe we had a more lavish lifestyle, maybe we had a lot more going on, maybe we had a lot more about us, and right now we're feeling this, the constraint of this Four of Pentacles and keeping everything balanced and trying to regain that. But Unicorn almost feels like it can show you the way if you let it. It may not be to this, though, is sort of the feeling that I'm getting. I feel like Unicorn has something totally different in store for you. I don't know if that makes any sense. Now, the next card is up above you. This is the Spirit of Soul card. This tells me what your Spirit of Soul is working on in the month of July. So this is the Knave of Wands. So knaves always like bring messages, and to me, they always have this room for learning. They're not like fully quite there yet. They have an openness and an exuberance, and this knave, especially because he's looking at this flower, he looks sort of peaceful to me. He looks sort of like, he almost looks magical to me in the sense that he's appreciating this flower. Do you see him? And he's sort of a little bit youthful. Well, knaves are always youthful, but what I mean by youthful is like he's open. Like he's not as what's the word I'm looking for? Like him appreciating that flower and the beauty of that flower. It sort of feels like I would think that my Sag is, and this is also Wands energy, which is fire energy, which is more Sag's home energy. And it being in your spirit space, it speaks to this idea that spirit wants you to be teachable, spirit wants you to open up to beauty, spirit wants you to open up to possibility, spirit wants you to open up to unicorn, spirit wants you to open up to the beauty of that flower, to growth, to new ideas, to all of that stuff. Quit being so sort of like maybe money oriented, practicality oriented, lack focused. There could be a little bit of lack focus on, oh, if I only had this, everything would be okay. When you actually have so much more to appreciate and to learn about and to open yourself up to. That's this Knave card, right? And it brings you back into that fire energy that I feel like maybe as the world's been falling apart, my Sages have lost touch with their own magic in an effort to kind of hold on to what's going on in the material world, right? Which is this 10 and this 4. So I'm not saying it's a bad thing to want to be financially secure or to feel like sort of grounded in the world. I think that that's fine. But I think that there's other ways of maneuvering through the world or having abundance in the world. And Sag might be focusing on the more material aspects of that and not necessarily the more spiritual aspects of that is kind of the feeling that I'm getting. Let's look at the two outside influences. These are things that are around you that are affecting you either positively or negatively in the month of July. They could be people or events, sometimes things more vague like belief systems or energies that are having an effect on you. So one is the King of Pentacles. Oh shit. So, big focus on like money. For some of you, this could be a job offer. For some of because, and the reason why I say that is this king is facing directly to this man that is like sort of standing here with the scales, trying to make ends meet or balance everything out. This guy could be coming in. I do want to say the King of Pentacles is very generous. This could be a Taurus, Virgo, or I can't think of the last Earth sign. Taurus, Virgo. Sorry guys, they're lighting off fireworks. It's okay, guys. Shit. It's okay, it's just fireworks. Oh shit, this is gonna go on all night until the 4th of July. Freaking Americans. So it could be a gentleman that's an earth sign. It doesn't have to be, but it could represent that. This could also be the opportunity or the energy of the ability to sort of earn that money or earn that sort of authority that the king presides over and has, right? So this doesn't necessarily have to be an actual job offer from an individual. It could represent that. But for those of you that it's not that, this could be opportunities where you could learn how to grow from the 4 back into the king. But I feel like those opportunities are indicative on whether or not you get up into your higher self and start to connect to your spirit, trusting this unicorn energy to carry you there, right? I think that it brings you about these opportunities where it's sort of this energy of the King of Pentacles comes in and goes, don't worry, everything will be okay. And that could be through, you know, i.e. job offers, opportunities to make money from home, whatever. You might feel limited with this 4 of Pentacles, where this King of Pentacles feels like it expands you, but you need to get up into this higher self perspective of this Knave of Wands, which is that learning from spirit energy, where you're able to sort of see these opportunities and allow sort of unicorn to intuitively guide you towards them. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. It does make sense. Thank you, Stephen Davidson Olsen. And then the next card that's an outside influence is the 10 of Swords. Ooh, not so bueno. This is usually a betrayal of some sort. This is usually like, Swords represents the element of air and that of the intellect. Generally, this is usually depicted with somebody laying by a river with a bunch of swords in their back. This is a little bit softer card. There's a little bit of charity or help. They're like sort of helping a soldier. These 2 nursemaids are like nursing him back to health. To me, I feel like this could represent for my Sagittarius in the sense that there could be some sort of a betrayal. Maybe there was something that you guys lost recently or are feeling like you're losing. Can you not bathe each other right now? Oh god, the fireworks are starting. This will be the last forecast for the night. I can't believe they're doing this. It's like, what day is it? It's the 26th of June. It's not even anywhere close to July 4th. Ugh. So, this is going to drive me nuts all night. Alright, so, the 10 of Swords to me. There's also an opportunity, I feel like, here for Sagittarius to heal their minds. Whatever might be plaguing your minds, I feel like those 2 nursemaids could be sort of spirit guides or you know, angels in a way, coming in and helping Sag to kind of heal some of the limitations. Remember I was talking about lack-minded sort of limitations in this 4 of Pentacles here in the center. If some of that is this at play too, I feel like there's opportunities here to heal ourselves through past betrayals, past losses, that sort of a thing in the month of July. That healing of those thoughts and those limitations might also bring about this King of Pentacles energy too. It also brings out the expansiveness of this opportunity of the Knave of Wands, where you're open to the beauty of life, you're open to the spirit, you're open to your own element and your own energy. You open yourself to the magic of unicorn and all that it possesses, even if it doesn't feel practical, right? Even if it doesn't feel like, oh wait, that's not the way I would normally do that, or that's not the way, that doesn't sound like that makes any sense. Now, I'm not telling you guys to do stuff that seems impractical, but I want you guys to trust your spirit. The goal here to me is it feels like there's an expansion that's able to happen here if you allow yourself to sort of trust the spirit more than sort of the past, if that makes sense. Because this 10 of Pentacles is a good card as your driving force, and it says that the past was great for you or abundant for you, and like if you're just focusing on that and trying to get back there, you're missing the point. There's something more to be had here, is my feeling. There's something more to attain here. There's something to overcome in this Ten of Swords or get beyond. And there's, you know, a gifts to be had from the energy of this King of Pentacles, whether that's an actual person bringing you these opportunities or you reaping these opportunities on your own as if you were the King of Pentacles. But I think that you can bring that about if you open yourself up. But with this Four of Pentacles as the center, I feel like you're looking at everything through a lens of lack. You're looking at everything through a lens of limitation. And if you're doing that, you're sort of limiting yourself. And so then that's when this comes in, where I almost feel like these could turn into, you know, this King of Pentacles sort of looking down upon you and going like, I don't know if you're ready. And this Ten of Swords like sort of just continuing to like sort of betray or hurt you. Right? Where you open yourself up to sort of like other mishaps or situations where, like in July, some of my Sagittarius might feel like they are getting betrayed or hurt. So be mindful of that. Now, this next card is the potential outcomes for the month of July. Now, this is a broad spectrum reading for a lot of people, so this doesn't necessarily mean it's going to happen for each and every one of you, and it's always potential. So if it's a negative card, we can look at it as a warning right now and use it to make choices and changes in our lives so that we can affect the outcome, so it does not have to come to pass. If it is a good outcome, we can take heart in the fact that we're naturally heading towards this outcome. So we don't have to do too many things other than, you know, try and grow up into this higher Knave of Wands energy. The Knave of Wands, too, is not like we have to be some sort of spiritual giant. Keep that in mind. Knaves are about learning and about learning messages, receiving messages, giving messages, connecting to that like enthusiastic, teachable sense of self. Being willing to learn and grow and be expanded, right? There's that. You don't have to be an authority with the Knave. So keep that in mind. You don't have to understand exactly how you're going about getting to where you want to get to. You just need to sort of know where you want to go, is kind of my feeling. So this is the Eight of Swords as the outcome. Eights to me are always about balance. With the Eight of Swords, though, like we have this one guy helping this other guy out. Let me just look at this for a minute. Okay, I'm just going to be honest here. I just feel like my Sages are maybe nervous about more misfortune befalling them, is kind of the feeling that I'm getting, because I look at this Ten of Pentacles and I look at this Four, and I feel like my Sagittarius feel like they're barely holding on. Like they're doing okay, right? This guy does not feel completely out of control to me, but he's like sort of feels like he doesn't have what he used to have. Be this love, money, status, whatever it is that we feel like we're lacking. It could be multiple things in today's world right now, right? Maybe we've lost security, just in how the world is operating, right? But whatever that is, whatever that loss is for us, I feel like there's big potential for more of that to come in with this Ten of Swords here, right? And we have like almost two things knocking at our door. We have the potential for the abundance of this King of Pentacles, or the betrayal of this Ten of Swords. And it's really kind of how we choose to look at it, how we choose to perceive it. And I get the feeling that this Eight of Swords is not as bad as the Ten of Swords, but it does feel like some sort of mental worry, anguish, defeat, sadness, the possibility of recovery by the end of the month. Like it feels to me like I don't know if you guys can escape your own sort of self-limiting beliefs. And I don't think the hit, I mean, yes, if you go down this route, I mean, this is just kind of the feeling that I'm getting as I'm looking at these cards. So take this however you may, and it could mean, it could be for some of you and maybe not for all of you, but I feel like if you go down this self-limiting route, or this, these swords and fighting within the situations and feeling betrayed or feeling like you're losing more and all of this sort of stuff, it leads you to this Eight of Swords, which is sort of like this. It's not the worst case scenario, but it's not best case either. There's still like a recovery that has to take place. There's still a loss that's suffered. There's still this gentleman here is helping the other gentleman up. So it still feels like there was a battle of some sort, right? This is the recovery period that happens after the battle, but it's like, I don't want to see my Sag just go through the battle. And I feel like with Unicorn as your spirit animal, it feels like the battle is avoidable. It just doesn't look like it in some way to my Sages. Like the Unicorn, I get this sense that does Unicorn feel really practical for me? And I think that Unicorn is, but he's like this unseen way. He's this unknown, like also him standing in front of the moon in the dark. To me, it's like he's like hiding out in the night. Like I feel like I don't know if this is gonna make sense, but I feel like Unicorn is kind of like we have to dig deeper to find him. Like he's not just hanging out in the front yard. He's sort of a creature of the night, of the other world, he's elusive. He's not, but he has this magical power in him that he can take the Sages so far beyond the limitations that they're dealing with right now. But I feel like maybe they don't trust him. Let's see what door you're opening or closing for the month of July. Hey, Radon, how are you? What's going on? I did Aries. Aries is up on the business page. Hey, Donna, House and Deacon. So let's see what door my Sages are opening or closing in the month of July. Okay, that came out at the last minute. Okay. So you guys have this pretty blue door. And it's got like, I don't know if you guys can actually see it on the camera, but there's a star on the door. Right above there. Do you see that? I don't know how well you can see that. To me, that's a little magical too. That speaks a little bit to that unicorn energy. And I like this blue in the sense that it's the color of certainty. It makes me think of certainty blue. It's that idea. It's also that, like, it reminds me of the blue of like Archangel Michael, if that makes any sense too. And blue is very calming, healing, and a secure color. And this door makes me feel very secure. But again, I feel like this is a door that you could pass by and not necessarily see, similar to like the energy of Unicorn, right? Where we might walk right by it and not see it. We might walk right by Unicorn and not find him, right? We might be so busy caught up in scrambling to sort of get what we think we need, or what we thought we lost, or what we thought, get back to what we thought we had, that we're missing what's right in front of us. What we could be learning that's right in front of us. The beauty and the growth of this flower. The knowledge of our home element of the wands of the spirit that spirit wants us to be seeing, but we're not. Okay, so let's see what the door says. The art of life. There's no sacred light in the aura of life. Be bold in your skin. Let your love dance in sight. Let me read that again. There's no sacred light in the aura of life. Be bold in your skin. Let your love dance in sight. So I feel like there's definitely an opportunity here for Sag to sort of push themselves in ways that feel quite possibly uncomfortable. But Sagittarians are all about expansion. They're connected to the planet Jupiter. So you guys, I feel like, need to remember that. And as you're trying to hold on to sort of maybe the past or what you had in the past, where things are transforming for you or changing for you, it speaks to this idea that you have to be willing to sort of challenge yourself and expand and grow and believe in sort of the magic of things again. Head towards the spirit, head towards this idea of the art of life, right? Be bold in your skin, let your love dance in sight. Like, I almost feel like also too with this unicorn energy being in the night sky, it's kind of like being seen in some ways. Like, it's almost to me, and I may be wrong about this, but with all of this Pentacles energy in the center and in the past, it's like sort of Sag defines. I feel like the majority of my Sages that may watch this have defined themselves by what they've produced, what they've created in the world, what they've had materially. And they're lacking something. There is this part of Sagittarians that I feel like you guys are, connected to spirit. You're the element of fire. You're connected to expansion and the planet Jupiter, right? So there's this idea of spirit within you that I feel like maybe now it's time to acknowledge that aspect of self, and Sag might be a little bit sort of afraid to do so. That's kind of what's being called out here in this Art of Life card a little bit. I also think that that might be sort of what's being called out in these 8 and 10 of Swords. I feel like this King of Pentacles speaks to this idea that things will be okay if Sag trusts it and moves forward. But it's like this big trust, with the unicorn card, or the door that you could just, not see and walk by altogether, but it's like the door that's got the star on it, right? It's the door that's like, let me say this, Sages, there will be signs in the month of July. I'm just feeling that it's this star on the door. Fuck, it's this star on the door. The star is telling me, as I'm thinking about this, I wish you guys could see the star on the door. Can you see it? I can't tell. I guess you can see it a little bit. It's the star on the door, it's the unicorn, it's these signs, it's these magical signs. There's going to be signs, and if you miss them, they'll be subtle. But pay attention. It's similar to this flower that he's looking at here, the beauty of this flower. It's like the signs of the spirit, they're around you. And you guys are focusing on like the pentacles. You need to let that shit go. Because all of that shit will sort itself out. That stuff Sag can do, you've had it before. You don't need to worry about it. You can create it again. There's a layer here that I feel like Unicorn and the Knave of Wands and the Art of Life want to come in and give you, but you have to see it. And there's so much like wonky shit going on around us right now that of course we want to hold on to the things that make us feel secure. Those would be things that are materially based, in the material world, because so much in the material world right now is up for grabs, with COVID and the stuff going on with the police and everything else right now. It's just, there's a lot of crazy adjusting that's happening right now, and a lot of our security and stuff like that is being challenged right now for everyone. So I feel like this unicorn, the star on that door, the Knave of Wands, it speaks to this idea that messages are coming. That's that Knave of Wands too, being in your spirit space, and the Knaves being messengers. You will see the messages, or you need to keep an eye out for the messages. They will be coming. Unicorn's going to be sending them to you down his horn telepathically. I know that sounds a little goofy, but that's what I've got for you. That is your Sag reading for the month of July. I hope that makes sense. Please come back and let me know if it sounds totally crazy, or if you come across a unicorn, let me know. I would die laughing, or a blue door with a star on it. I just feel like there's going to be signs, you guys. So hopefully you're able to see them and follow them. All right, I will see you guys tomorrow to do, what is it? I guess the earth signs, and I've got to do the air signs. So thank you all for tuning in. I appreciate it. Please give the page a like if you like, and follow it so that you get notified when I go live again. And I look forward to seeing you guys soon. All right, take care. Thank you. Bye-bye.